Well, hello, greetings, greetings, greatness. This is Dr. Anana Pfeiffer Darrell Home. I am glad that you are here with us today on this winning Wednesday. It's time for real talk and real solutions. Today, I'm super excited to have this amazing guest with me here. And you know what? I'm super excited because I know some incredible people. God has put some awesome people in my path. And the one thing that I realized and I learned along this journey is relationships are so key to really your next level. It's not so much, you hear this all the time, but it's not so much what you know, but it's who you know that makes a difference. And I'm excited that I have another incredible guest that can share with you today. And real talk, real solutions with Dr. A. It's time to have real conversations. As a World Civility Ambassador, the one thing is we have those tough conversations. We have those real conversations, and we really focus on women in dialogue. I'm excited today, even for a separate reason, our article. We've been featured in an international article, and all of you, thank you so much, everyone who supported our Blessed Girls Global Civility Women and Youth Summit. So stay tuned. You will see that shortly. That will be going out, but it was published today. So excited about that. And if you haven't had a chance, I'll make sure I'll share the links on YouTube and various platforms. We had our event now, I want to say 3 weeks ago, and we had girls and women from around the globe to talk about civility, to talk about creativity, community, and of course, climate change. And the response has been incredible. So I would love to share this international article with you all, and you continue to show love and support to the amazing women and girls. We had girls as young as 13 to be a panelist and to speak and to share in regards to what's going on today in today's climate in the U.S., in South America, even in Africa. We had an amazing platform. So excited about that. So stay tuned for that. But nonetheless, tonight, of course, I'm here in the Northeast of North America, but I have the pleasure of going over across the pond and sharing tonight with an amazing woman, Dr. Zina. Let me tell you, I'm excited because I have the opportunity to introduce her to the Real Talk, Real Solutions tribe. She is my sister. I was there in London. I want to say, was it October, November? Time just flies by. My last time that I was back in London, and we just had a great time catching up, chatting, having real talk, if you will. And so tonight is just going to give me an opportunity of having you to listen in to a conversation with an amazing woman over in London. And so without further ado, and of course, I have something going off here in the background, facts or what have you going on, but it's all good. So hopefully that will end soon. But let me introduce you to Dr. Zina Arinze. She is fondly known as the Reinvention Queen. If you know it's time for you to reinvent yourself, you want to like, comment, and share this broadcast because she is the queen of reinventing. One thing that I love about her is her, of course, her energy, her bubbly personality. So that goes right along with me. But the other thing is just being transparent. She is an international speaker, a best-selling author. She is an international gender empowerment strategist. We're going to definitely talk about that. Radio broadcaster and talk show host, lawyer, and she is the reinvention and life transition coach. She is a career and a business mentor, youth empowerment mentor, successful serial entrepreneur, and the founder of the Believe and Live Again After Divorce. So now to all my sisters out there, even men that, you know what, you may have experienced divorce, I can say I'm on marriage number 2. So this is just real talk, real solutions when we even talk about going through divorce, the recovery and the next steps. But without further ado, I want to welcome Dr. Zina Arinze to the platform. She is here and live.
Hey, Dr. Nana. This is such an amazing privilege to be on Real Solutions, Real Talk, Real Solutions. Oh my days. I can't believe it. It's 11 p.m. here in the UK, but I'm rearing to go. I'm still awake. I don't know what I'm on. I don't do drugs. I just do Holy Ghost.
Hey, we can't lose with that. We cannot lose with the stuff that you use. So listen, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful welcome. When you were speaking there, I was looking around wondering who you were talking about, and I'm like, oh, talking about me, you know. So we bless God. Lovely to be with you, blessed girl.
Amen. Amen. I'm excited that you are here. I thank God for your yes, because again, I realize that you are way ahead of me in time, and for you to stay up late and hang out with me and share with the audience tonight is absolutely incredible. So one thing we talk about and we focus on here is we call the 4 C's. And we like to focus and highlight and have discussions around stability, creativity, community, and climate change. And of course, this is a global discussion tonight. So one thing, you know, I've read a little bit about your bio, and we have a lot to talk about there. Because when you talk about Reinvent You, and you being the Reinvent You expert, queen, finally known as, that means that you have mastered this thing and that you are an expert and you help others do just the same. So let's just talk a little bit about, when we talk about reinventing you, what does that look like? And typically, what are some of the clients that you may even have now or in the past? What are some of the things that they're facing and what you see even now in our current environment, because we all are in the process of reinventing. If you're homeschooling, if you're working from home, if you have to wear your mask, if you got a glove, everything is constantly changing. So I think it's such a key time to hear from you and for you to share some of your knowledge and expertise, if you will, in this environment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nana. The first thing I will say is that, like you rightly pointed out, this is the biggest reinvention that we have ever seen in the world, in my lifetime, in lifetimes even before me. And this is one of the things where you have no excuse. You have no excuse to be stuck. You have no excuse to be stuck, because many of us have family members, friends, colleagues in church, mosque, wherever it is that you believe in, who have passed on.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about passing on because of normal circumstances or normal causes, or even, having an accident or anything like that, but passed on because of the pandemic. So you owe it to yourself and you owe it to their memories, not to be stuck, but to move on. What is that one thing that you've been meaning to do? I don't care what it is. That one thing that you thought about doing when you were 14 years old, you thought about doing when you were 10, you thought about doing when you were 25, 30, I don't know what age you are right now. What's that one thing that you can do? Just one thing that you can do differently to honor the people that have passed on before you. The reason you are alive today is not because you washed your hands so clearly. It's not even in the mask that you wore. It's not in the fact that we've been on lockdown in our own different homes. It's because God has kept you alive for a purpose and for a reason. So I need that to sink in for a second. You need to figure out that one thing that you can do. It can't be business as usual, because everything has changed. The way we do life has changed completely. So you have to either change or explain why you are still alive. And I'm sorry to be harsh about it, but we are all alive for a reason. So I'm asking you a question right now. What is keeping you stuck? What is keeping you stuck? Whether it's in that job, in that marriage, in that redundancy, in that maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you've been made, you're retired. What's keeping you stuck? Why are you not moving forward? Don't say it's because of the color of your skin. Don't say it's because of your gender. Don't say it's because, you've been divorced or you've been abused, or all those things which are very legitimate reasons. But now that you have been spared and you are still alive, you have to do something different. You have to reinvent yourself. When I'm talking about reinvent you, previously, before we had COVID and even Black Lives Matter and all that, previously it was people being stuck. I started this journey with regards to divorce. So people were stuck after divorce. They didn't know how to move on. And I helped them move from we to me. Let me explain that a little bit to you. When you're in a we relationship, you're with your significant other, your husband, your wife, and you're used to doing things together. Maybe you have 4 children, you have 2 children, you've got table settings with 6. So you've got mommy, daddy, and children, 4 children, or mommy, daddy, and 2 children. You do things together. You phone up your husband. What are we having for dinner? We're going for parents' evening. What shall we do? You want to do something. Your child will say, oh, mom, I can't do this because of this. Or your child talks to her friend. Sorry, I can't do this because we're going for someone's wedding. I'm a bridesmaid or something. So families, we do things together in a we relationship. Then suddenly, for whatever reason, and we won't go into that relationship no longer works. It's no longer workable, and you're now apart. So you are now in a me relationship, which means that you need to take time to relearn who you are. I talk about the 4 R's, the 5 R's rather. So the first thing you would need to do when you're trying to reinvent yourself is first thing is that you need to release. When I talk about release, you need to release all the toxins, the bad energy, all the different things that have been holding you bound. Maybe the way you think about him or the way you think about her, maybe some other things that you have internally, maybe some, things that happened in your childhood. I don't know what it is, but you need to release that and let it go. Once you've released that, it's a process. So this is just me talking through it. It's not as easy as I say. Once you've released that, you need to reflect. What do I mean by reflection? You reflect on where you are right now. So if we're talking about IT, project management, for instance, or business analysis, we talk about the as is environment. So where are you currently? Reflect upon that. What's been working for you, or how has it worked for you? And where do you want to go? So you reflect on where you are, and then you have a vision for where you want to go. So I'm sure you all know about vision boards, but you write down the vision, the scripture. For those of you that know about the Bible, write the vision, you make it plain. So you reflect on where you are right now, and then you reflect on where you want to be, your to be environment. Then once you do that, you think about what are the reinvigoration steps that you can take. How can you reinvigorate yourself so that you can get to that promised land? What are the things that you need to change? What are the things that you need to do differently? Perhaps, you want to change your job. You want to up-level your job. What do I need to do? Do you need to go for some courses? Do you need to go back to school to take some exams that you didn't pass 10 years ago? Do you need to get a mentor? Do you need to get a coach? Do you need to pray? I mean, you do need to pray. Do you need to get books? Do you need to go online? The wonderful thing about COVID, the positive thing, is that there are so many courses all over the world. All over the world. There are so many courses all over the world. And those courses are just, they are free. You can do whatever you like with them. You can practice. You can do all sorts of things, and I've got messages coming through. So let me have a quick look and find out. Yes, I'm sorry to stop there.
It's okay.
All right. Okay.
I just want to recap because you just jump right into the meat of it tonight. I had to get my pen, my pad. I'm ready.
I could just see someone messaging me on my phone, so I was just about to go. I'm like, where is my phone? But anyway,
no, that's cool, because here's what I want to know. Those that are watching, make sure you put in the comments. You said release, reflect, and reinvigorate. Is that right?
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
And
so thank you so much. So you were listening.
in particular in that order, because I feel like a lot of times we can get stuck into reflecting what happened, why it happened, when it happened, right? And we're not necessarily getting to the point where you have to release some things, right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
and reinvigorate yourself. So these are incredible things, but all three R's are necessary.
They are, and you're right. The order has to start with release, because when you're absolutely, and when I coined this process, that's what I was thinking about, because so many people, I found out that they spent so much time reflecting, and it wasn't even positive reflection. It was, he did this, she did that, my mom's next door neighbors, cats, dogs did this, that, and the other 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And so you're busy reflecting, and then you're even more stuck. So you're not moving. You just stay where you are, because all you're thinking about is, oh, this person did this. If only this person did this. If only my boss at work did this. So you keep reflecting, but you're not moving. So you're reflecting on the spot. Yeah. So I start with release. Release the things that don't serve you. Release the things that don't serve you. It could even be yourself. So it could be you, and that's a hard thing to say. We don't like saying that to ourselves. It's always somebody else's fault. Yeah. My ex-husband beat me, my wife, she slept with 10 people, my daughter doesn't listen to me, whatever, we always blame. And I'm not saying that those are not legitimate. Hear my heart, people. These are legitimate reasons. I am not sweeping them under the carpet. But what I am saying is that if you want to move ahead, and if you really want to reinvent yourself in this particular season, this is the biggest and the best chance that you and I have. This is the biggest, and if you don't reinvent yourself now, then you might, without me saying, you have to honor family members and friends and people that every 2 seconds, we're going to one funeral or the other on Zoom. Yeah. Every 2 seconds, there's we're going to a service of songs, or we're going to a wake, or we're doing on Zoom. Yeah. So that tells me that if you are alive, and I'm not going to take it to church today, but if you are alive, you owe it to yourself. I don't care what he did. I don't care whether he left you for 10 different people. I don't care whether you are the 7th baby mama. I don't care whether you were raped at 5. I do care. Get me? I do care. Right. Hear my heart. But because you are alive, and I don't want to burst into tears, because you are alive, use this opportunity to move on, to reinvent yourself. This is real talk, real solutions. I'm telling you, because it works. It works. Yeah. For those of us that believe in God, your family members, your friends, your best friend, your brother, your husband, whoever is looking down, watching you, just willing you to move forward. And you're just stuck. What else do we need? I'm not even going to touch race. But what else do we need? So that's the third one. So we've got release, reflect, reinvigorate. Reinvigorate. We're talking about reinvigorating yourself. What do you need to do? Do you need to, it could be practical things like losing weight, changing the way you think. Your body is the temple of God. So obviously, if you need to do so many things, if your body's not working, you can't do anything else. If your body's not working, your brain can't work. And if your brain can't work, you can't think. We're talking about creativity, the second C. You cannot move. You cannot, have creative ideas, witty inventions. You cannot, look at the season in which we're in and think about where is there a gap. People are making money as we speak. And some people keep saying to me, oh, it's a bit icky to make money during COVID. I'm like, what are you talking about? My Bible, and I said, I'm not taking it to church, but my Bible said that Isaac, and for those of you that go to church, Isaac was able to prosper in the time of famine. Mm-hmm. If you are not selling, you are being sold to. Woo. I can tell
you. Wait. Stop it right there. Now you dropping a whole lot. I got to slow you down. If you are not selling, you are being sold to. Please, somebody 100%. Put that in the comments. That is so good and so rich.
100%.
We have to get that. You understand? Like, I don't want to sell. I'm not a sell. You being sold something every single day. Every single day. Break that down.
Go to your Hotmail right now, or go to your Yahoo or to your Gmail, and you will see, just like mine, if you go into your inbox, you'll be seeing so many people selling you post-COVID this, mask this, that, you know, juice plus, juice up, all kinds, everyone's selling something. And that's on your inbox. And if you quietly go to your junk or your spam, oh my days, everyone is selling. So if you are not selling, I'm not telling you to be, I'm not a salesperson, so I get that. But you need to understand that every time that you walk out of your door, you are on sale. Mm-hmm. You are on sale. Hello, Robin. I love you to bits. Hello, Robin. Oh my days. I see you and I'm so proud of you. Oh.
You know? Wait. So you now I'm gonna go back because I mean we got a lot to talk about, right? So are you finished with your R's before I go on? Because I don't,
I've still got two. Go ahead. All right. And so we've done the reinvigorate, and then we now have renewal. You know, when you renew, people think about renew and reinvigorate. No, they're not the same. Renew is completely new. So so like you don't pour. So you've been released, you've reflected, you released, you reflected, you've reinvigorated, and then you're now ready to be renewed so that you can be poured into a new wineskin, if that makes sense. So you don't take the old stuff and you pour it into something new. You need to be renewed. When we're talking about renewed, your mindset needs to be renewed. Your mindset needs to be transformed. You need to be thinking in the mindset of where you want to be, not where you're coming from. So all that bitterness, all that, unforgiveness, all the things that have not worked for you, that isn't serving you, that can't go with you when you're being renewed. I hope that's helpful. Then the last thing, this is when reinvention actually takes place. So you don't just wake up and say, oh, you know what, I want to reinvent myself. No. It's a process. You release everything that doesn't serve you, everything, even parts of your life that does not serve you, even things that you need to take responsibility for, what you've done, what you haven't done, how you could have done things differently. Take responsibility. What doesn't serve you, cut it off. And then you now reflect. I'm saying this again for those of you that are just joining. Then you reflect on where you are right now, currently, where am I right now? What's my as is environment? What is my as is environment? And then you reflect on my to be. So you think about the vision, where you want to go, write the vision, make it plain. Where do I want to go? Then once you've done that, then the next thing is reinvigorate. So you bring it all together, you reinvigorate all the different parts of you that's not working. Go and join an online course, go on online dating if that's what you want. Speak to your boss about promotion, up level yourself, get the training, get that SAT, the GCSE, whatever it is, wherever you are around the world that you call that additional education that you need. Learn how to write, learn personal etiquette, learn how to speak. I don't know what it is, whatever it is that you need to take you to where you want to go and do it. Once you get there, then you have your reinvigoration. That's fantastic. So you're now reinvigorated. You've got the energy, you know everything that you need. And then you have the renewal. You have to, and someone's written it in the chat, you need to renew your mindset. You can't take old wineskins and pour it into where you're going. You need to transform your mind. You need to ensure that anything that didn't serve you in the past, you are not taking it with you on this new reinvention journey. And once you've done all that, then you're ready for reinvention. Without that, you can't even start, because you're basically, we say we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but what we're saying is that you're remodeling it. So it's like you're taking, I don't know, this is a parking ticket. This will make people that live in England will laugh. This is a parking ticket that I got the other day, and I'm still quite miffed about this. I'm still upset. So anyway, so it's just on the table to remind me to pay for it before they tow my car. So anyway, so you got the parking ticket. So, you're saying, all right, I'm going to use. So if you tear it up and screw it up, it's still a parking ticket. You haven't changed it. If I tear this up and put it in the bin, they're still going to send me another letter and tell me that I need to pay twice as much. So that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. So if that helps, when you reinvigorate yourself and you're ready for reinvention, you have to be completely new. It's almost like a blank slate. Almost like a blank slate. So all that's like, you got your eyes and your ears and everything, but you're a blank slate and things can be remodeled on you. And then you are now ready for the process of reinvention, which is another process. You need to talk to me, inbox me, and we can talk about reinvention.
That's it. This is so good, and it's so on time. You know, because I could just even say in the beginning when the pandemic hit, man, I was just Netflixing, eating, cooking recipes. Sis, I'm like, okay, let me just sit back and see what's going to happen. What's going to wait? They said stay in. No. From the pandemic, birthed real talk, real solutions, right? From the pandemic, I started a health and wellness business because that's a part of the reinvention, right? What worked then is not working now, right? And I've learned something that sometimes, you know, we are annoyed and aggravated, and it's really because of us, because it's time to reinvent you. It's time for something new. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and start activity, right? And that's really what I really hope and pray that our listeners, the people that are watching and are listening all around the world, that they understand and get that. It's time to reinvigorate myself. It's time to reinvent Anana. 100%. In the comments, say it is time. It's my time to reinvent myself, right? 100%. Because if I'm not selling something, I'm being sold something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people, we all need to understand that, you know, every single day. I mean, we've got the pandemic and people are saying, well, we're holding on to our money. But when you really check it, I mean, let me use me as an example. I have tried to hold on to my money. I said to myself, I like spending, I spend. And I said to myself, we've got the pandemic, you know, I need to change how I do things. And I'm the Reinvention Queen. So, you know, and I'm telling myself, I need to change how I do things. Reinvent, you know, I'm always reinventing myself, always thinking about how I can do things better. I'm like, okay, so I've changed the way that I spend my money and spend it for things that are so my money goes into things that make me money. That's what I told myself. And I said to myself, if I have an income, let's say $10,000 comes into my account every month, for instance. So I'm telling myself that if that $10,000, in the olden days, $10,000 will come into my account and I will spend $11,000. You know, you know, you got to own it. You got to own it. You know, because what I need to say, people always think, oh, that Zina, you know, you're so amazing. You're so this. I'm just like everyone else. I have the same insecurities, just like everyone else. I do some foolishness like everyone else. And so I say these things so that you know that I am just like you. You know, I'm no Jesus. I'm just a black woman, you know, in the UK, the same struggles that we have all over the world. Yeah. So I said to myself, okay, I get $10,000 every month, for instance, just for, you know, argument's sake, just use that as a figure. So I need to make sure that if I'm spending that money, I need to be spending 5,000 of that dollars into money that makes me money. If it's not making me money, I ain't buying it. And then the rest of the 5,000 would be, you know, maybe food and bills that you have to do, that you have no choice, that you have to pay. Right. And all that, and credit cards and everything else. And that's what I've been doing. The wonderful thing about that is that I actually said to myself that I wasn't going to spend no money. And I realized that every month I was still spending almost the same amount of money, but it was being distributed differently.
Yes.
You know, being distributed, you know, so at the end of the month, I was still spending $11,000, for instance. And I'm like, where's all this money going? I'm not buying clothes. I love clothes. I have a single outfit. In fact, every single time I've been online to buy something, I'm thinking, where am I wearing this to? I better buy it for my next speaking event. My next speaking event is going to be in my front room, you know, or in my bedroom, you know, or in my bathroom, depending on how I feel, you know, or in my garden, you know, or if I really want to be really, really inventive, maybe in my local park. Yeah. So, you know, so why am I? And then I realized also, and this is going to be helpful for all of us actually. Now, and I'm talking to people that look like me. So if you don't look like me, please don't take offense. People that look like me, we have this thing where we like to dress. We love to dress. And we spend thousands on the way that we look, on our hair, on our weave, on our shoes, male and female, our shoes, designer bags, designer this, designer that. And I just want you to know that now that we have the pandemic, if you needed money ASAP to do something really important. Maybe someone's ill and you need to pay your health insurance, or you need to, have an operation. Where are you going to, can you convert your designer shirts, your designer bags, your weave, all those things? Can you convert them into money right now? No, you can't. You can't. So that's why I need you to understand that you don't need another pair of shoes. Another pair of shoes is not going to make you feel better about yourself. You don't need another pair of shoes. And I'm talking to myself as well. I've got more shoes. In fact, me and my daughter, I've got 2 daughters. We have spent this time decluttering. And I'm seeing loads of shoes that I'm like, some shoes I've never worn that cost me tons of money. You don't need another pair of shoes. Let me tell you that if you're wearing the same shoes that you wore last year and I saw you, I'm not going to say, I'm not even going to notice it. I've passed that stage. I couldn't care what you're wearing. I mean, there was a stage in our lives where we had to wear this, we had to wear, no. You need to know that you keep your money well. Put your money, invest your money into something that can bring money back to you.
That's good.
If you need to learn how to invest in stocks and shares, go and learn that. If you need to learn Forex, go and learn that. If you need to learn property, go and learn that. You don't need an education for that. You just need someone that's going to be honest enough to take you through the ropes.
Yeah. No, that's good.
We've been talking about black economy. Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about this because I said to myself, I'm not going to talk about this. But what we need to do is that we should stop wearing our money on our body.
That's good.
Stop wearing our money on our body. We can't use it. You can't. If I want to go to, I don't know, we've got Oxfam shops. Yeah, I know. What do they? Oh, there's a name in America. I know there's one. Oh, thrift shops. There's God, there's something I saw. I can't remember what they're called. You've got names where you sell charity clothes. So people.
Secondhand.
So if I take this lovely dress, I bought this dress about maybe 5 years ago, and I bought this dress for £200. Now, if I get fatter or slimmer and dress, I don't want to throw this dress. When I get slimmer, I wear it with a belt. No. But if, for instance, when I've finally given up and I give this dress away and I take it to the charity shop, they're probably, I give it away. They don't buy it from you. And then when they sell it, they're going to sell it for $20. So I can't get anything from this money. I can't buy a new car. I can't put it as a down payment for a house.
No.
And I've got loads of dresses, and I'm sure that all of you around the world have got lots of suits, silk suits, real skin, moleskin, leather. This is the time, guys. Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up. They're laughing at us. So it's time for us to wake up. Wake up. Stop wearing your money. Stop wearing your money. You don't need to wear Gucci shoes. You're wearing Gucci shoes and you live in a flat. Goodwill, that's the name. That's the name I was trying to remember. Yes, in America. I've seen it. If you go to Goodwill in the rich areas, I know that the clothes there are supposed to be really nice. I don't know. That's what I heard. But, if you need to make a down payment, you can't. Those shoes can't do anything for you. And sometimes they go out of fashion, so you can't even use them. That's why people like me have a whole heap of shoes, a whole heap of clothes that I can't even wear. If I wear those clothes, my children will laugh at me. Mom, you can't wear that. People don't wear that anymore.
Right.
But they're as good as new. So people, we need to stop wearing our money on our body. You don't need to. If you're living in, I don't know what you call them in America, but if you're living in a council flat here in England, so maybe if you're living in if you're living in the projects, or you're living in a rented accommodation, you have no business wearing Gucci shoes. even if it's fake Gucci with double A that you buy in China, you have no business wearing any of those. No business whatsoever.
So y'all see, this is the real talk right now. This is the real conversations we're talking to our sisters today about the things that we put on our body. And it's so real. I mean, I just told my husband, I think I was maybe even talking to Robin there, that I'm not buying another thing. I have a closet that is overflowing. And you all are my witness. Until I clean and give away and Goodwill, like you said, right? And I know that I make a certain amount of income, whatever my goal is, and that's why setting goals, like you talked about, that $10,000 a month or what have you, is important. Then that releases me to go ahead and replenish and things like that. But it's all about the mindset, though. You know, like this is really all dealing with the mindset. But you know, with you and I, we could just go, right? So wait. I want to first let's go back, because I really, you know, I gave a bit about your bio, but I want people to understand really who you are. And when we talk about being a serial entrepreneur and a bit of your background, of course, you personally went through a divorce. You are a mom of two amazing daughters who are, you know, fabulous, educated, creative, right? So I want you to even share, because a lot of the women, of course, if they're here with me in the US, they're like, all right, Dr. Zina, yeah, Nana brought this woman on, but what's her story? Like, you know, how is she now the Reinvent You Queen? What really qualifies you as that? Because people see you now, but they don't know you're then. Right? They don't know, like I always say, people see you now, but they really don't know your story, right? They see you in your glory, but they don't know really your story and how you got here. So I want to take a moment, I want to put a pin in it, and I want you just to share again, as a serial entrepreneur, a sister that does her thing, and you walk in your boldness, your brilliance, everywhere you go, you own it, right? But I do understand that there was a process for you. There was a journey for you. So if you can just take maybe 3 or 4 minutes, you know, take your time and just share with some of the women that are watching and men that are watching all around the globe, and tell them a little bit about your story and your journey, if you will, and how you now are the Reinvent You Queen. How did that happen for you?
Well, I'll take you back. All right, I'll take you back to 1993. I was born here in the UK, in London, in the 60s, and my background is Nigerian, and my parents went back to Nigeria, I think in 1977 or 17. I can't remember. I was little. I went to secondary school in Nigeria, and it was completely different. I mean, it was lovely. Well, I can say lovely now looking back, but at the time I hated it because all I knew was being English. But the wonderful thing about that is that it gave me a sense of pride. I'd never seen so many people that looked like me in my life, and everyone, no matter how poor, there were people that were dirt poor and there were people that were exceptionally rich. But one thing that I saw was that everyone was trying to do better than where they were. Everyone was just pushing themselves. You know, they were trying to be best academically, best crooks as well, whatever it was. They were just trying to be the best at anything that they could do. And that pushed me. And I realized that I might have been bright here. They weren't pushing me here, but I wasn't particularly bright in my class in school. And I went to a good school. Anyway, my father wanted me to be a doctor. That wasn't happening. I ended up being a lawyer, which he was, you know, proud about. And then I said I needed to come back to England. I'd done what I needed to do in Nigeria. I needed to come back. So I came back in 93 after doing uni. And when I say uni, university, or what you guys call college, doing university and, you know, practicing as a lawyer for a few years before coming back to the UK. When I came back to the UK, it was a rude shock because things had changed. And obviously I left the UK when I was a child, and I was now, you know, a young adult. Came to the UK, and I was, you know, taking exams to take my qualifying legal exams here. Met my husband, well, boyfriend at the time, in the library. He was studying for his medical exams. He's a doctor. And I didn't, you know, we just fast forward. We thought we were matched, but we weren't matched. We got married maybe about a year and a bit afterwards. And the marriage brought 2 amazing daughters, but the marriage itself was not good. We just, you know, we're not compatible in any way. It was sad for me because as far as I was concerned, I believe in marriage. Marriage should last forever. I never believed that I would ever get divorced. I'm a woman of God. So as far as I'm concerned, the Bible says that God hates divorce. So I had a lot of hang-ups about that, you know, in terms of, oh, look at me, I'm divorced. You know, I've failed God. I've failed the world. You know, what kind of Christian am I? And even if anyone else wasn't judging me, I was judging myself. So I might have had rejection from my ex-husband. I might have had rejection from the church. But as far as I was concerned, the rejection that I gave to myself was worse than all of that. So, you know, hold that. If you have self-rejected yourself, you need to work on that. So, you know, fast forward, my husband, you know, I think he expected me to leave. I didn't leave. I was stayed. I was holding on to my dear life, holding on to my marriage, keeping up holy hands. My marriage, I'm happy I wasn't. And then so he eventually left, and I had 2 young children, left me 2 young children, age 4 and 7 at the time, then 22 and 19, 2 daughters, and massive house, and I just couldn't keep up the bills. It was so hard. Both children were typically ill, often in hospital times, and I was trying to keep down a job. It was incredibly difficult. I resorted to putting the heating on in one room. This is a 5-bedroom house, in one room, and the kids at the time thought it was fun. They thought, we were all huddling together under a sleeping bag, and it's because I couldn't afford to heat the whole house. But I kept smiling. No one knew what was going on. And that's another thing. You don't need to look like what you're feeling. And so no one knew, but I knew. And it was an incredible, sad time. I was working. I, had a high-powered job, and I was always crying. So I would go to the toilet to cry, and then, clean my face, put my powder, my lipstick on, and go back in and go into the boardroom. So I was living 2 lives. Eventually, I cracked. I was depressed. I felt like a failure. I just wanted to curl up and die. But then I remembered my 2 daughters. Anyway, as God would have it, I started rising as I left law completely and went into IT project management consultancy. Started right from the bottom. So I was a project analyst, IT, then went to a junior project manager, a project admin, project manager, senior project manager, program lead, and, and the rest is history. And through that, I realized that, if you're able to manage your personal business outside, so keeping up appearances, you can still make something of yourself. So I had moved from being a qualified practicing lawyer to a wife, to a single mom, to an IT project management consultant, to a global project lead, to a coach, and all the other things. And why am I sharing this? Is that whatever you put your mind to, you can do. Don't allow your situation to define who you are. I almost allowed my divorce and the abusive marriage to define who I am. But I realized, number one, I've got 2 daughters. I have to be a role model for them. And I will talk about that in a minute. I have to be a role model for them. I also believe that whatever you put your hands to do, you should look for a way of making it, turning it into something that can birth an income for you. And I've been doing that for a while. Mainly, my mum was like that, but my mum was using her hands in terms of baking and sewing. I can't sew to save my life, but I can talk. So I was always using my speech. I didn't even know what speaking was, but I would go and give after dinner speech. I would do MCs and stuff, and I was getting paid for it. I'll do CVs, what you guys call resumes. I would do resumes for people. I would, help people in terms of interviewing it. How Betty, love you to bits, darling. And, I would help people with their interview skills. So maybe they had a job they wanted to go to. I would help interview them eyeball to eyeball, ask them why they wanted the job. We'll practice, and I'll tell them, well, if I were you, if I were them, I wouldn't give you the job. You needed to try, change. So I did all that. And I didn't realize that these are things that I could do that could earn money. So initially I was doing them for free, doing it for free in church, doing it for free everywhere. And then I remember going for an event in 2010. And this event, I think it was called Millionaire, or 2009, Millionaire Mindset, something or other for women. And there were this whole heap of women that were speaking at me. There was tons of us, speaking at me at different things. And I'm thinking, I can do that. I can do that. I can do better than that. And so hello, beautiful. The first thing I did is to get a coach. If you're watching me right now, don't think you can do this journey alone. We all need at least one coach. I've got coaches for different parts of my life. I've got coaches for speaking. I've got coaches in terms of my spiritual growth as a woman of God. I've got coaches that keep me accountable, and I've got lots of people that I coach. I mentor lots of people all over the world, but I also have mentors. So for every step of the journey, for your journey, you need to have coaches and you need to have mentors. Never think you can do this journey alone, and you need to be accountable. One of the problems or issues that many of us have is that we don't like to be called up on anything. We don't like to be we don't like to be accountable. We want to call everyone out. But if I call you out on something you're doing, you're like, who are you? Why are you speaking to me? No. You need to rest your head down and be accountable. You need someone to pour into your life so that you can pour into somebody else's life. It's really important. So I went and got different mentors and coaches for different areas of my life. And when I wrote my book in 2017, my first book, Reinvent You, How to Move Out. If it's here, yes, it is. I'll just bring it and see if I can show you without dropping everything else. Oh, don't fall, please. Yes. Right, yes. So if you can see that, that's my book. I published this it's like a manual. People call it a Bible. So I did this in 2017, and I first wrote this in 2012, but I was stuck. So what did I do? I got what you call a book journey mentor. I worked with her, I paid her, and she took me through the journey, not to write the book, but the actual process of actually writing it, putting it in a manual script, getting it proofread, getting it edited, putting all the pictures in. Everything here is all me. I did all the pictures, the diagrams, but someone that will keep you accountable on that journey so that you will do exactly what you said you will do. It's easy for us to say, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But if you don't have someone keeping you accountable, it's not happening. So for my journey, in terms of reinvention, Dr. Anana, I had to have people helping me to be accountable. I outgrew them pretty quick. I'm not going to lie. I outgrew them pretty quick, but I moved on to the next person because I'm never satisfied with it. Even right now, never satisfied with where I am. I can be so much better. And that's what everyone should tell yourself. You shouldn't be satisfied where you are. You need to tell yourself that you can be so much better. Don't feel, oh, I'm all that. I'm, like we say in England, don't feel that you're the business. You're not the business. You're not the business. I want to tell you that. You're not the business. You're amazing. I'm amazing. We're phenomenal. But you can do so much better. And if you feel that this is sounding really great to you, oh, she's amazing. No, I'm not. I can do so much better. I'll give you a Nigerian saying. For those of you that have Nigerian friends, you might have heard this before. Whenever someone is doing something, a Nigerian parent, grandmother, granddad, parent, mom, I even say it to my children, and I'm English, I always ask you, does that person have two heads? So if someone is doing something better, and I'll say it in the Nigerian accent. I mean, my Nigerian accent is not that great, so I know my Nigerian friends that hear me say, "No, you're just a fake Nigerian," But anyway, my mom, my dad, my cousins, we all say this thing. Everyone that's Nigerian would have heard this. Does she have two heads? Does she have two heads? You're like, oh, mom, I don't know why this is happening. This is happening. I don't know why I can't do this. They're not listening to you. They're going to ask, if that person has two heads, not a problem.
Right.
Then you have every reason to be mediocre. You have every reason to stay at the level you are. Right. But if that person that you're looking at has one head, just like you, and you are alive, I rest my case.
That's good. That's good. And I hope the audience, and I see they all are chiming in, because this is so key, and I like a part, you even just going through the journey of being a wife, being divorced, a single parent, right? I mean, there's so many pieces to you. Project manager, being a coach, getting coached, having a mentor. And I realize that a lot of times people don't see the value in investing in themselves. They really don't. And unfortunately, the same way, like you said, we'll buy those shoes or that dress or that hat or that coat. Yes. You see the value in something that you will put on to make your outside look good. But when you can see and understand the value of getting a coach, getting a mentor, right? And I love it because you're investing in someone who's, it's saying they're already where you want to be. Right.
Yes, right.
So I think that what I know already has gotten me where this far. Right. Yes. And if I want to go further, then that means I need to enlist the instruction, the coaching of someone who is already there. And I'm glad that you even spoke about that along the journey, because like you said, you don't have the two heads, right? We are no different than anyone watching, but investing our time and our money and working with people that can get us to where we want to be is so key. So that's something I certainly, encourage everyone who is watching or even in the replay. You have to do I have a coach? If it's real estate, if it's, you know, like IT or what have you, having a mentor and having a coach to get you to where you want to be is so important. And that's an important piece of this reinvention process. I'm sure.
It is. And it's so funny. It's so funny you should say that. You know, this was something, and, you know, you were talking about my daughters. This was something that we talked about, you know, I didn't, you know, because sometimes you're pouring into people, even, you know, your family members, and you don't realize. I remember it might have been in, I don't know, 2011 or 2010. And there was this event. I could not afford it. I could not afford it in any shape or form, but I needed to be there. So someone called me and said, oh, you know, I've been watching you. I know you like these kind of things. There's this event that's coming up in July. She called me in January. Mm-hmm. She said, you know what I can do for you? If you pay for it little by little, you know, you get first dibs, you be in the front, you get VIP. I like VIP. Anything I go, I do. If I can't go VIP, I don't go, because I want to sit at the front. Right. I want to sit at the front. I want a situation where if they say any questions, I want to be able to ask questions.
Yeah.
So that my face is on there, because all I'm thinking, and this is, I don't know who's listening, this is what we call earned media. So sometimes you might not be able to afford the publicity or the marketing that you need for your business, for those of you that are in business. But if you are in the right place at the right time, you can still use that, and it's called earned media. So one of my coaches, I can't remember who taught me that, said to me that I must always have questions. So I have questions all the time. I have a list of, in fact, this is going to be useful for someone. I have a book of questions, and I take that book with me everywhere. In fact, it's on my phone. If I go for an event, if I'm not sitting near the front, I'm already upset. Because I'm thinking I need to ask questions. I need to be heard. I need to ask something that's, you know, if I'm not being noticed, then there's no point. I can't leave my house, pay VIP, you know, pull it on my credit card or something, and then go and sit at the back and sleep. No. I need to be at the front, because so I said to my children, look, there's this event, you know, the lady said that it's X amount of money and I need to be paying £500, you know, every month until July. So my eldest daughter, who was, 2011, she might have been 13. She said to me, Mommy, borrow, beg or steal, you need to be there.
Wow. Yeah.
Borrow, beg or steal, you need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my other daughter was too young, you know, but it was like I had the approval. Right. So every month I was paying I was not little, but I was paying £500 towards this ticket, and I went to this event, and it blew me away. It changed my whole outlook in terms of, you know, the importance of having a mentor, having not even one mentor, but different mentors and different coaches, you know, a mentor will take you where he or she has gone. A coach will guide you. So they're they do two different things.
Exactly.
They do two, you know. And my mentor told me, Zina, always have questions. I went to an event in Nigeria. I don't really go to Nigeria much, so I don't know, but I wanted to kind of go there and penetrate. And I went to an event in 2017. Mm-hmm. From my house. I didn't know anyone, but it was a massive event. You know, all the best people were there, and I wanted to go. I didn't know anyone. I got there. My best friend lives in Nigeria, so I got there. And for you, Dr. Anana, that's gone to lots of African countries, you know, it's always about the status. You know, it's always about the status and all that. And so I got to this event. The event started on Monday. I got there on Sunday night. And when I got there, my best friend said to me, oh, no, you know, you can't be English now. You got to look the part. I'm like, I've got this beautiful dress. She said, no. So I wore my one shoes that I can't walk in. I've got arthritis, high shoes, my Louboutin with red heels. I can't even walk in these shoes. Right. And I rarely wear them because in fact, they're going to go away because they're of no use to me. But I wore them, and I got there and I sat down. And the place was full, packed, thousands of people, posh women that I never knew. I sat down. Then I sort of said to myself, I can't come here all the way from England. Yeah, I was going to stay only 4 days, and I'd be sitting at the back. No. So I said to the usher, I said, excuse me, please. Are there any seats at the front? I'd like to sit at the front. So if you know anything about Africans, you know, and Asians as well, there's all the status. They'll look at you and figure out who you are. Now, because I spoke to her in that way, as far as she was concerned, I was a nobody, you know, because everything in that, especially West Africa, I don't know how it is in East and Southern Africa. It's always about, you know, the status and how you carry yourself. So she just looked at me, and then, you know, black people and our customer service is the same across, you know, whether it's in the Caribbean, America, England, is the same thing. She just looked at me and moved her face. Then it occurred to me, oh yeah, she thinks something. Oh right, okay, Zina, you need to fix up in my head. So I'm like, come. She looked at me. I said, maybe you did not hear what I said. Is there something wrong with your head? So she was like shaking, you know. I'm like, let me repeat myself. I said, go to the front and check for me if there are any chairs, any empty seats, right. And then go back and let me know. She said, yes, ma. I'm like, thank God I still remember, because I'm completely, you forget these things. Yeah. You know, civility. You forget these things. You know, different civilities in different places. You forget, you know, what works.
Absolutely.
You know, so she comes back really shaking. She comes back and she said, oh yeah, yes, ma. And she took my bag. You know, like how, you know, they carry pastor's wife's bag. And I'm walking. I could not walk in the shoes. I'm thinking, Lord, let me not fall down. So I'm walking. And they're all looking at me. Who's this important lady? And I sit at the front and I sit down. I was on the second row, so not the front. Now, when it came to questions, I already had questions. I had questions on the aeroplane. I didn't know what the topics were going to be, but I had questions. And I've been taught that you have like templates. So you have template questions.
Okay.
And then whatever it is that they're talking about, they could be talking about cats, dogs, rain. It doesn't matter. You morph your questions based on that, because you already have the question. So I asked the question. I'm like, oh, thank you so much, you know, for what you've spoken about, the gender, this, and then whatever it is that they were spoken about. You know, one of the things I need to understand, because I've actually come all the way from London. I've just flown in this morning. So I need to understand. So everyone's looking at me, who's this woman? And I'm speaking with my English accent and wow. People are clapping and saying, wow. During the break, everybody wanted to know me. People were asking me for my card. People were asking me for my book. People asked me, and I got interviewed by two TVs and two newspapers, earned media. Yeah. I didn't know anyone. Wow. So for everyone listening, make sure everywhere that you go, if you're going for an event, don't go empty-handed. Go with a reason. Have your questions, have templates. You can start by today. Just use today. It's probably about 7 o'clock for you guys. Use an hour, write down 2 questions, and you can change it around. Because as long as you have the beginning and the ending part, you can morph it they can be talking about something you know nothing about. They can be talking about whitewater rafting. I don't know anything about whitewater rafting. People like me don't go whitewater rafting. You know, but maybe that's what they're talking about. If I look on Eventbrite and they're talking about, and there's 2 or 3 people I want to meet, I'm going to the whitewater rafting event and I'm sitting at the front and I'm paying VIP ticket to sit at the front because I want to talk to a particular person. I don't want to ask a question. You can't be asking questions about shoes. Hello, Maureen. You know,
that's a girl Maureen there.
You know, you can't be talking about shoes.
Yes.
You can't be talking about your weave. You can't be talking about your shiny Gucci shoes.
Well, let me just say this, Dr. Zina, listen, because there's so much in just that story alone. There's one thing that I even coach on and talk to even my leaders about is we call it the shadow section, because even your courage, because let's be clear, it takes courage to say, I want to be in the front of the room, right? It takes courage. And a lot of people, I call it the shadow seekers. They want to sit in the back, right? They feel more comfortable where they're not seen. And getting even women, even young girls, because they learn this even at a young age. Let me get in the back. I don't want to be seen. I want to be in the shadows, right? And this is something, one of the first things that we deal with is we call them shadow seekers, and that's the shadow section. Because I don't you know, I'm not for that area. I'm like you, and that's why, you know, you and I, we get together. Absolutely. I want to be in the front, and I belong in the front, right? And that's how, when we talk about reinventing. So for those that are used to being in the shadow, right, and even in this time, in this season, it's time for you to get to the front. It's time for you to open up your mouth, let them know who you are, right? That you're from London, I'm from US, I'm from here, I'm from there, and I want to know, because I came all this way, and I know that God got a spot for me up there in the front, right there. Absolutely. You knew that, right? And you walked in that confidence, you walked in that boldness, and there was a seat with your name on it. And I know you talking to the folks, but I want the folks to know, especially the girls, the women that are watching, that there's a seat with your name on it in the front.
Absolutely.
If you didn't open your mouth, if you didn't let them know, and if you didn't ask for it, that seat would have still been sitting there, and you would have been sitting wherever they had a seat for you.
Absolutely.
Right? So I just want to just encourage someone tonight to make sure that it's time for you to move forward. That, yeah, there's a seat for you at the table up in the front. If you move forward with your bad shoes on, feet hurting or not, but it's time for you to occupy the space that's waiting for you in this time of the season. So I just had to say that, right? And I love the fact of the questions, because I don't have that. And I like that, because if you want answers, you're going to have to ask some good questions, right? Absolutely. To get solutions, you have to ask some good questions. And I think that's a great tip, ladies and gentlemen that are watching, is to be prepared. I'm going to work on my book of questions, sis. I thank you for that advice tonight.
It helps me a lot.
Yeah.
It helps me a lot. It helps me a lot.
This is just some things I wanted to make sure we took some time, and you know, they'll go through it. But I see, I'm seeing some comments. Yes, they say, yeah, you talking to me now, right? Because that in your story, there's a whole lot of nuggets right there that people see you, but they don't understand the process and what it took. And I'm sure that you stepping forward, you getting in the front, you asking them questions. That's what got you that earned media. That's what got you
absolutely,
right? Because
absolutely,
we're sitting around mad, right? Because we ain't there, and we thinking God ain't open the doors, and it's not happening. When it's really for you to move your feet, her feet,
absolutely.
Excuse me, I think I belong up there, and that's all we gotta do. Right now in this season, I'm telling you that I feel it just like I'm talking to you. We just gotta open our mouth and see what we call the seat, the door, the money, whatever it is that you think you lacking.
Whatever it is, and take it by force. Absolutely. Absolutely. What you're saying is so true. And, you know, we need to, and another thing I just need to say, we need to stop thinking that we don't qualify. Yeah. You know, for some of you listening are Bible believers, and I'm gonna, I said I wasn't gonna take it to church, but I'll take it to church a little bit. Okay. You know, every single person that God used, every single person except for Jesus, none of them qualified. No one, but they all went on to do amazing things. Moses, he was a murderer. He stammered. David was a philanderer. He killed somebody else's wife, but the Bible says that David is a man after my own heart.
Right, that's it.
Is it Solomon that went and married lots and lots of concubines, but he was so wise? Is it Samson that was so strong?
Yeah.
Who is every single person? Is it Jacob, who was called the supplanter? You know, every single person that God used, every single person. Yeah. Or, is it Jonah? Yeah. Jonah that was walking in disobedience, that was so self-righteous, he didn't want to go to Nineveh. He went. So who every single person that God used, all the prophets, no one was qualified. For you to go anywhere where you need to go, just know, for those of you that are Christians, know that you have already been qualified. Like Dr. Anana said, you just need to take that walk of faith. You know, put it this way, all of us, me included, all of us can walk on water. All of us.
Come on, what a walk.
Yes. You know, your water might not be my water, but all of us can do. When I'm talking like this, don't think that I don't have insecurities. Don't think that I'm not afraid. No. Don't think that I haven't been knocked back. I've been knocked back so many times. But as far as I'm concerned, and I said this at the beginning, for as long as I have breath in me, I'm moving forward.
Yes.
Come on. Nothing's gonna keep me bound. What will happen? I might cry. I like to cry. If you look at me, I'm a crier. I cry like tap.
Right.
So I cry. So I'm crying. And I'm like, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I need to sort this out. It's 24. You know, it's 20. And another thing I need to say is time. People that look like me, we like to waste time.
That's good.
Waste time. We've all got 24 hours in a day. Come on. You can't be spending time chatting to me on the phone. I'm not talking. Those of you that know me, I don't spend time chatting to anybody on the phone. If I call you, I'm calling you because I have a purpose.
Yes.
Either I'm speaking in your life, or I need you to speak into my life.
Come on.
Or I, you know, so Dr. Nana and I we're like this. We're tight.
Right.
She will send me a message at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm looking and I'll quickly respond. Just right quickly.
That's right.
We rarely talk.
That's right.
She's too busy. I'm too busy.
That's
and it's not as if I don't love her. She loves me to bits. I love her to bits. Yeah. When she came to London, we spent time.
Yes.
Because we knew that was the time, you know.
Yes.
So this is for all of you. I'm not saying don't do friendship. I'm not saying don't talk to your mom and your dad and your brother and your sister. Right. But remember that the time is limited. In my house, we are 3 people in this house, me and my 2 daughters. They are both entrepreneurs. Both. They get knockbacks. They're moving forward. My oldest daughter is a tall girl fashion designer for tall girls. Rosanna London. She's creating, she's drafting, she's doing all sorts of things. She's taking pictures, she's doing all sorts of things. My younger daughter makes wigs. They're thinking about how will it look on Instagram? Everyone's thinking about, you know, something they can do. They're all in university. Well, my oldest one has just finished, but they're in university and they already have a side hustle. Yeah. So what am I saying? All of us, we need side hustles, quarter hustle. You know, man. Multiple streams of income. Absolutely. You know, you might be in that dead end job. No problem. If your job starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 3 o'clock, spend 2 hours on your business. You have no business sleeping when you have no business sleeping when you can use that time to put it in your business if you're working a 9 to 5.
That's good.
Because you're not, we all have the same 24 hours. God's not going to give you 26 and give me 24. Or he's not going to give you 27 and give me 22. And I can't do my mathematics. That's wrong. Right. But basically, we all have the same 24 hours. So if you want something bad enough, you need to put your rubber on the ground. You need to do all that you can to get it.
Yeah.
That's put it this way. When we were teenagers, if you liked the boy, for those of us that are girls, if you liked a boy, you would dress in a particular way. You would wear the lipstick. You would do your hair. You would flick your eyelash. You know, you do all that. You know, you wear those tight trousers or tight pants, as you Americans call them, so that he will see you. And you will stand in a particular place, and you would walk where you think he is. Oh, I didn't know you were here. Now that's just because of a boy. How much more in terms of things that you really, really want? That's really going to make. If you are a mother, if you want something for your child, you know what you're like.
That's right.
You know what you do. Or if someone is about to cuss your child, you will fight till you're blue in the face. You'll forget all about your mannerisms and everything you will do. So that is the kind of bulldog tenacity that you need to have with regards to your vision and your goals. Because why? You are still alive. COVID-19 didn't take you out. It didn't take me out. So for as long as we are here on this earth, we need to do something. We need to do something that we can leave a legacy. I want a situation that if I die today, people are going to be talking about the things that I said. I'm gone. Yeah. Microsoft, people are still talking about him. He's alive. He's getting negative, positive, all kinds of publicity. Oh, COVID, this, he's getting all, but people are talking about him. What's his name? The other guy, the Apple guy.
Bill Gates?
No, not Bill Gates. That's the Microsoft. Apple guy. Yeah, still people are still talking about him till today. People are talking about Apple phone, Apple this. What are they going to say about you when you're dead?
That's good.
Are they going to be talking about the shoes and the dresses and that somebody else made? We need to quit from having our consumer attitude and have a producer attitude. What can you produce that has your name on it? My pastor, my founding pastor, Pastor Tayo Adeyemi, died some years ago. He used to tell us in church, get something and put your name on it. It don't matter how big. It doesn't matter how big. It doesn't matter how small. It's not in terms of the size. It's in terms of your name. It's something that belongs to you.
All right. They gotta put that out there. I need somebody to type that in the feed. Get something and put your name on it. And if it hasn't been right now, you don't have it, you know that you got something. You know, that's that thing where it's time to pull it out, right? You got something. God is giving you something. He's giving you an idea. Use what's in your hand. If it's frying that chicken, making them cupcakes, if it's, you know what I mean, writing, if it's
whatever,
painting, decorating, whatever it is, get something and put your name on it. That's a good word. That's a good word, sis. This is rich. This is rich. I really pray and I know that once we have this dialogue today, women of dialogue, to share tonight, that I know that everyone that is watching, that'll listen, even in the replay, that you've gleaned, because we've touched on so many things tonight, that this was just good stuff. And this is what happens. You know, we start our show and look at the time. Lord, listen, and we got so much to say. We got so much to share, right? Because it's real life, you know, like this just flows. I'm taking notes as you sharing, right? I mean, I know some of my biggest takeaways in our time tonight. So I just want to first just thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's something about getting a yes. Somebody like you, someone that I know does the work, you know, you have the experience, you've mastered this thing, and for you to give me a yes to come and share on this platform tonight with the listeners and those that are viewing, I appreciate you. And I want you to know that I just speak blessings on blessings on your next, whatever that is. And so I want you just exactly make sure
I received that with both hands, man.
Come on. So what I want you to do is let the folks know how to reach you. And I want you just to give them one closing thought for tonight, so I can let you go, because it's almost, you'll be close to midnight at this rate. But I just want to say thank you. And guys that are watching, wherever you are, make sure you like, comment, and share, because you never know what takeaway could be the breakaway, something that can help somebody else break through whatever they're struggling with just today. So thank you for doing that, everyone. But go ahead, Dr. Zina.
Well, my biggest takeaway for everyone, I would say, is that whatever you're doing, make sure that your agenda is the right agenda. Don't do it because you want to do it for yourself. You know, you need to understand that whatever it is that you put your hands to do is bigger than you. If you do it because you want to do it, you want to make a name for yourself, it's not going to go that far. And that's the gospel truth. Yeah. You know, it's not going to go far, because your agenda is wrong. Your motives are wrong. Know that whatever dream, whatever vision, whatever goal that you have is bigger than you.
That's good.
That's you know, and that's what I would say. So don't go, even if you're making cakes, whatever, don't go with that grasshopper mentality, because then you're only going to grow so far. But when you go with a global mentality that you want to help the world, you know, like Dr. Nana's talking, she's going all over the world doing all sorts of wonderful things with young girls. You know, that is what it's about. And then some of you might be saying, oh, I wish I could do that. For you to be able to do that, you need to have a heart for the people. You need to have a heart for the world. It's not about you. It's not about the money. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that money is not nice. I do like money, but it's not about the money. It's about, you know, what you can do with the money. It's about making sure that you pour yourself into someone else, making sure that you pour yourself into as many people as possible, so there's a ripple effect. It's really, really important that you're causing other people to grow. And when you do that, everything else will be added on to you. It's Matthew 6:33.
Amen.
You know, seek the first kingdom of God, and all other things, You know, in Genesis, it talks about when, God, the people, you know, they were building the Tower of Babel. And the Bible says that, you know, let's build this so that we can make a name for ourselves. And what happened? The Tower of Babel got destroyed. So when you are building to make a name for yourself, whatever you're building will be destroyed. But if you're building with kingdom, global, you know, attitude and focus, what will happen is as you're building that, your own agenda will also grow at the same time, because you're not thinking about that.
Amen. Amen. That's good. That's good stuff. So I again thank you. And like you said, check your motives, check your agenda, make sure that it is you know, true and pure and coming from the right place. But we just really again encourage you all, even in this time and in this season, that you can reinvent yourself. And I think there's no better time. I mean, even in the pandemic and the things that we are dealing with inside of the pandemic, this is still our time. This is our time where we can reinvent. We can do things that we never thought were possible. This is the time to do it. So, guys, I know that this is your time. It's your time to be bold, to be you, to embrace your brilliance. And the beautiful thing, like you said, it's not really about us, because once we do that, then we're an example for other people to follow. Once you see Dr. Zina shining bright, living her brilliance, right, then there's so many other people that are impacted by doing that. So when you do it, when you sit in the shadow section and you hiding on your gifts and your talents, you are not just hindering yourself, but you are hindering those that are really aligned and connected with you. So God, it ain't about you. I promise you. Me coming on this show every week, and I thank everybody for watching, but I promise you it's not about me. And if you do understand that, then you will make sure that you will share this video tonight. You will make sure that you will continue to be connected. So Dr. Z, let them know how they can find you with your website, email, anything, if they want to connect with you, Facebook.
Yeah, if you want to connect with me, you can see Zina Arinze on Facebook. Just send me an inbox message or connect with me on Instagram. I'm more on Instagram than Facebook. I don't know why, for some reason. You can go to Dr. Zina. This is hard. So Dr. Zina Bala, believe and live again. So BALA _TV. So I'll put that in the chat. Yeah, and you'll find me there, and just send me a message, and I will definitely come back to you, just so that you know, if you need to speak to me, I'm more than happy to speak to you. And you understand this, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of my time, 20 minutes of my time. Let me give you 20 minutes of my time. Let me just figure out what's keeping you stuck. No commitments, just to figure out, you know, where you're at and how you can move forward. And I'll give you something that at least you can take with you. And if you want to work with me after that, that's fantastic. If you don't, that's also fantastic.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So good stuff. We thank you all for watching tonight. We thank you all for being engaged. We thank you for being reinvented, for living in the reinvention in this time, in this season. I know I can't wait to hear what your next is. I cannot wait to see once you release, refresh, reflect, and reinvigorate all that God has for you. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting to see it, to watch it, bear witness. So I thank you for watching. Thank you for signing in with Real Talk, Real Solutions. More to come. What's next? There's a lot next. Thank everyone who have supported the Burundi project with the panties. And thank you, Dr. Z, for definitely being supportive of that. We have, I think it's next week, we're going to be, our team is going to be out distributing. So stay tuned to watch the videos and the pictures from that. But it's just our time, guys. I can't tell you no more than that. Moms on a mission. It's our time. It's your time to be bold, to be you, to be a mom on a mission, and definitely embrace that you are a blessed girl. So thank you, guys. Have a great night, okay?
Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Nana. God bless you.
Blessings.